Cybersecurity is a very broad domain. So if we go much deeper and try to understand what are different verticals in the cybersecurity which anyone has to understand.
There are multiple tracks,
So
right?
as you mentioned about the certificate also, right? Because then there are lots of companies or organizations keep providing the certificate, and people are confused about which one is good or which one is bad, right? And as you mentioned, the quality of trainer also plays an important role. So what is your suggestion?
We are going to talk about NLTs, next level threats.
Mhm.
It is a combination of AI plus robotics plus ML plus then quantum cryptography, everything together. Now this complete attack is going to change. We'll be dealing only with the next level threats.
When you are also hiring multiple candidates for multiple roles, right? So what is your criteria for selecting the candidate? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Career Conversation Podcast. In this podcast, we invite industry experts from various domains to share their learnings and experience. In today's episode, we have a very special guest, Vadivelan Sankar sir, who is around 28 years of experience in industry, and last 18 plus years he's working in cybersecurity domain. So in today's episode, we are going to learn how to build successful career in cybersecurity. So welcome, Vadivelan sir, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me for the show. Yeah.
So around 28 years, right? And so how was your overall experience starting the early age of the technology and how you're seeing till AI?
See, I never thought this technology will go this far. Okay, so when
Mhm.
I started working on the computer, it was on late 88s, and I was introduced to computer with the DOS, the black screen, the big screen, and you'll like allowed to like use the floppy disk and all. So slowly, I started my career as a developer. I started working on databases like DBase, FoxPro, then slowly like moved to Visual Basic, Visual FoxPro, sorry, then moved to Visual Basic, then Java, C, C++. I got actually like a lot of exposure towards programming.
Mhm.
Then when I joined Navy in 96, then I got introduced to work on networks, okay,
Mhm.
server administration, all the stuff. So like in corporate, it is different. Okay, you got into one domain, then you will get to work only on that domain only. But in Navy, it's a different experience. So one
Right.
person has to do all the things, like a Superman kind of thing. Okay. So
Okay.
I was sent to Russia for 2 years. That is where actually I started working in the cybersecurity. But my joining in the cybersecurity domain after my retirement is an accident. So I always
Mhm.
thought, okay, getting into a development thing, but the industry needs more than what actually we have, right? Okay, so that's where I finally got into the cybersecurity domain. So it's a very interesting one. Almost like 28 years I've seen different changes in the
Mhm.
industry. So let it be the cybersecurity, programming, or maybe networking, or server administration. You talk about anything, right? There's a drastic change in everything.
Right.
Okay, I actually like more than the professional thing. Okay, I'm very passionate about this. I started liking this industry as well. Yeah.
Right. And after Navy, you work with the EY and then Meta as a CTO. So how was the experience in working in corporates?
So I was working on the two different sides of the coin. Okay, so
Okay.
military is a closed network, whereas the companies like consulting firms like ENY and Grant Thornton. So I was working with Grant Thornton as executive director, EY with almost for 5.5 years. So these actually gave me a good exposure about what is happening in the corporate environment. What is
Mhm.
that financial sector or any sector you can say? It needed what is the need actually they have in the cybersecurity domain. So that actually gave me a very good understanding about it. And services they were delivering, right? I think like very few services which is very niche. Okay, that requires a lot of skills, multitude of skills, and that the 360 view about the industry as well.
Mhm.
Right. So, which you will not get in the cybersecurity. If you are working only on cybersecurity, you will not get it. Since actually I had experience in programming, the networking, and
Mhm.
server, I was able to understand, okay, what is the required, I think, in the cybersecurity. And it is a very interesting domain, like every day, okay, you will get to like, new, know new things and how
Mhm.
actually you are going to help your client. And there are a lot of questions arises also from the client, how we can do that. And the solution you are providing, right? That it's a really great one. Okay, so you have to think from all the sides. That's a wonderful experience. And then I told you, this again, one side of the domain is a domain, the military domain is a completely different one. Whereas the consulting, working with consulting is completely opposite to that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have that kind of experience.
You have seen the evolution of technology from the early when India don't have the internet, and now we are seeing the high quality of cybersecurity is required. So how you see the evolution of cybersecurity from last 5 years and how where we are leading to?
Start with the awareness part of it.
Mhm.
So I was in Russia for 2 years. That is
Mhm.
where actually I have a lot of friends actually in cybersecurity. Then whenever I speak to them, they say I don't know much about cybersecurity. That is what the Russians normally say.
Okay.
The awareness level is very, very, very high in this with these people. Whereas in
Right.
India, it was completely different scenario. You would have seen people actually sharing the passwords over the bus stand or the government office. You'll say yellow sticky notes, all this stuff, right?
Right.
So this is kind of the awareness. Like in a few years back, like almost like I would say like 5 to 8 years back. If you see, the awareness level was completely, absolutely like close to zero, I would say.
Hmm.
Was close to zero. Now you can see that every entity is actually encouraging people to have that kind of awareness, and people are also
Right.
seeing there are a lot of attacks happening on the individuals also.
Right.
Now they're realizing the importance of cybersecurity. This is one part. Okay, so everyone now is becoming a stakeholder in the cybersecurity domain. Secondly, if you see from the technology perspective, okay, there's a drastic change. Okay,
Hmm.
so I've seen actually in Russia the first time I have seen a pen drive. Now pen drive that was actually like 64 MB pen drive is the first capacity I've seen. Now you can know that what is the capacity of a hard disk, pen drives and all, right? You can
Right.
actually like mobile itself is like it's like becoming a computer nowadays. You don't have
Hmm.
to carry a computer as well,
Right.
right? So the technology is drastically changing. Okay, so with
Hmm.
the technology changing, people actually are understanding the technology. They are getting more in the awareness side. Cybersecurity is also completely changed now. You are
Hmm.
changing. You are still changing now. With AI coming in, definitely it will have to go for another shift.
Right.
Complete change, right? Okay, so till now the traditional cybersecurity will completely change to some other different level now.
Hmm.
That is what I'm seeing. Okay, so we need to like the only problem is with the drastic change in the attack surface, the technology, and whatever actually we are seeing now. Okay, so we should actually be able to align with that, the
Hmm.
speed, the pace of the technology change. Okay, so we should be aligned ourselves to match with that. So that's
Right.
what I'm thinking.
Cybersecurity is a very broad domain, right? So if we go much deeper and try to understand what are different verticals in the cybersecurity which anyone has to understand.
Okay, so if you ask me the tracks, there are multiple tracks. One actually
Okay.
people go for VAPT one. So
Hmm.
vulnerability management kind of thing. So there actually
Right.
you'll have a red team assessment, penetration testing, vulnerability management as a service. There are a lot of things actually. This completely goes into the offensive side of the security. So the other one is the defensive side of security, where actually you will do the security operations, SOC analyst work. Okay,
Hmm.
so you'll do threat intelligence, threat hunting, and SOC analyst. So these are all something. Okay, we'll talk about the defensive security of it. There's one more thing which is actually we talk about the forensics.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's completely about the investigation, attack path analysis,
Right.
malware investigations, all these things come under so this one. Then we have the compliance also. So
Right.
GRC. Okay,
Hmm.
so where people will do auditing based on the ISO standards or any other global standards, SAMA framework or GDPR or HIPAA. So we have a lot of things. So if you ask me, basically there are 3 or 4 tracks. One is the offensive security track, which talks about all the VAPT exercise on the application infrastructure, all the stuff. Second thing we have that is on the defensive track, which is talks about the security operations. And the third one we talk about the forensic investigation, and fourth one is the compliance part of it. And there are fifth one also, which is actually talking about the infrastructure part of it, the security solutions,
Right.
managing the security solutions and all this stuff. So these are the 5 tracks. So anyone want to get into this, they can get into that. But one you can keep it, one of the track you can adopt for yourself, which you can take it as a primary track, and the rest of the thing you should have knowledge about other tracks as well. This will give you good information, understanding about the cybersecurity domain complete.
We have suggested a different track. Now anyone want to start the career. So how they should start learning so they can start their career in this path?
Okay, there's a trick in that. Okay, so
Okay.
normally what people do is when doing their college time, whatever the professor says, they'll go with it. Okay,
Right.
and some people who like misunderstand what is cybersecurity, they also give some inputs which is not valuable at all. So what people think, okay, my friend is there in this domain, so I'll get into that.
Hmm.
I'll tell you like the easiest way is understand about some basics. What is the track about all this like cybersecurity domains? Then understand this. Then actually like you pick your thing, whichever
Hmm.
area of interest. For example, some
Right.
people will be interested only for attacking.
Hmm.
They want to get into offensive. Some people want to get into security operations, the defensive one. Some people want to get into forensic. You need to select your track based on your passion. It can be one track or it can be a combination of 2 tracks also. Like for example, you want to get into defensive operations, plus you can get onto forensic also. Some
Hmm.
people will get into offensive plus forensics. So you can actually go for a combination of this also. But for that, you need to understand. So that is why the college, our Indian education system, has a thing called internship.
Hmm.
You need to go to the corporate to take an internship of 3 months, understand how the corporate, the companies are operating in the cybersecurity domain. What is the requirement there in that domain, and how people are working on it. So
Right.
what are the tools they are using, or what is the technology they are using, or what is the process they are following. Understand that first. So in the 3 months, you will not get to learn much things, but you will
Right.
understand what is the domains of. Based on that, you take a call. What is your passion? Okay, what is your interest, and take it. Instead of
Right.
actually going for the money's sake or somebody's advice, you actually visualize. You see that everything is in front of you. Then you pick up the domain of your choice. That is
Right.
what I would I would advise for that.
Right. And if we still try to mention with a few tools or technologies they should actually start exploring before applying for internship or try to do some other case study also. So what are the tools and technology they should start learning?
Okay, first thing, I would not suggest to go with the tools because tools will
Mhm.
keep changing. So
Right.
yesterday, like you would have learned, actually practiced something very good in the tool. The tomorrow the tool
Mhm.
will not exist at all. So it should not be based on the tool. It should be on the conceptual learning.
Right.
You should focus on the conceptual learning of all the domains. Say, for example, I used to train people on the cybersecurity certifications. Okay,
Mhm.
there are multiple certifications in India. Okay, so one of the certification I would suggest for the fresher to entry level
Mhm.
is ethical hacking (CH) certification. Now, what happens in the CH certification? It is depends on how it is delivered by the trainer. But the thing is, the good point about the CH certification is it talks about multiple domains. It will not give
Mhm.
a in-depth coverage of all those topics,
Right.
but it will give you a complete idea about all the domains which is being covered in the cybersecurity. Now you will
Right.
get the idea about it, like maybe cloud security. Now, okay,
Mhm.
VAPT. Now actually you can talk about mobile security, ransomware, malware analysis. You will
Right.
get the idea about everything else. Now based on that, then you can say that I got the conceptual idea. Now which
Mhm.
tool I need to prefer?
Right.
Now, if you want to get into cybersecurity, you should know the right set of techniques and the right set of tools.
Mhm.
Okay, the tools will keep changing, so don't go with the tools, I would say. But if you understand the concept, tools is nothing. It's just a small leverage for you to like understand about the domain and understand about actually how to like make use of the tools.
So
Right.
as you mentioned about the certificate also, right? Because then there are lots of companies or organizations keep providing the certificate, and then people are confused about which one is good or which one is bad, right? And as you mentioned, the quality of trainer also plays an important role. So what is your suggestion on the some certification at the entry level apart from certificate ethical hacking or some of the advanced certificate that can be done?
Okay, so from the certification point, there are two concepts. Okay,
Mhm.
one is certification. Now in India, I'm talking about India. Okay, so it will give you a leverage to get into an interview call. It doesn't actually guarantee a job. Okay, so please understand that certification will not guarantee a job. It will allow you to get into a interview panel. That's
Mhm.
it. Now, finally, it is not certification. It is your knowledge that is going to prove yourself in the interview.
Right.
Okay. And if the trainer is good, if he is given hands-on, if you are able to understand the concepts, whatever I shall learn, then the interviews, the certification doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Whether I have seen actually, I interviewed people with more than 30 certification, 40 certification, they didn't even qualify. They don't even the difference between cybersecurity and information security.
Right.
Okay, so don't go with the certification. So there are people who doesn't have enough money to pay for the certification also. The certifications are costing somewhere between 25,000 to like 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh also. And
Mhm.
there are the institute which is exploiting the students.
Right.
They don't even understand why actually this student has to learn the certification.
Mhm.
I know institute which is even teaching CH and CASP together and they are charging like 1.5 lakh.
Right.
And people are paying for it. But the thing is, CASP is not meant for freshers.
Mhm.
CSSP is meant actually for the experienced people who have more than 5 years or 7 years experience, then they can go for it. But
Right.
CH is good. Equally, Security Plus, there are certification like Security Plus is good. Okay, then depending on the domain they are choosing, they can go for the certification. But I would suggest go more than going for certification, understand what actually the content there in the certification program. You
Right.
learn first. Okay, certification can give a standard and it can benchmark for you to get an entry into the interview level.
Right.
So out of 10,000 people, if there are 100 people who are certified, definitely they will get the first priority. Okay, that is how it is. And
Right.
when you are in the academics, when you are in the academic institution, part of the academic institution, you will get this certification at a very lower cost also. Like in the when you go to the institute, normally you get a course for like 40,000 rupees. If you are in the
Mhm.
academy, you apply through the academy institution, your
Yeah.
college, you may get it for 10,000 to 15,000 also.
Mhm.
So that most of the institute they won't tell you that. So don't fall for the institutes. They'll promise you a job. They'll promise you internship. They'll promise you guaranteed pass of the examination. Don't fall for that.
Right.
Certification doesn't matter. It
Mhm.
actually gives a standard and it'll give you a benchmarking. That's it.
Right.
Finally, it is all your skill set which you have to prove. What is your understanding? How you are presenting yourself. That is what actually certification will not give the entry. It is finally your
Right.
attitude, the way of you presenting, with the way you understand the technology. That is what is going to help you out on this. Okay. If you talk about certifications, like I'm talking about other people. Okay. So you can go for smaller certification also. There are free certification available on the net. Just take it. Okay. For just to benchmark yourself.
Right.
But otherwise, your knowledge is the final one which is going to help you out.
Right.
And any certification you are doing it, ensure that you take it is covering actually entire program of cybersecurity from the entry level to intermediate level. Don't go for the advanced level. It is not actually going to help you out in the first entry.
Right. Right. And as you mentioned, right, many people are get confused about the multiple terms. So can you help us to clarify some of the jargons between used by people but they don't understand as per your experience?
Yeah, so some of the jargons I would say the vulnerability management. Okay, so
Right.
mainly vulnerability people think it's a loopholes, the weakness of a system. Actually, I would say it is not only loophole or vulnerability or weakness of a system. It is also a functionality misused. Like we have SMS and MMS,
Right.
right? MMS is more powerful than SMS, right? Why it is not being used? It lost its reputation because of the misuse,
Right.
right? It's a very good functionality, but it was misused. That is the
Right.
reason MMS is not in anymore actually is being used actually, or maybe it is used very close to zero level,
Right.
right? So the thing is, there are misconceptions, okay, misunderstanding about the terminologies as well. So that is why I said, okay, so you need to get trained by a person who is from the corporate industry, not from the
Right.
institute itself. So you would have go to any institute, you will find some trainers who will be able to deliver the training. Whatever the content is, you will be able to deliver. But the experience, you will not get the share of the experience from him,
Right.
industry exposure. So that you will
Right.
get it only from the industrial trainers. So this is one jargon. Second thing is the SOC and SIM. Now people say SOC analyst. So SOC is just a building. I would say
Right.
like it is a area like I would say where actually you have multiples of tool, people, process and technology, everything there, right? SIM is the one actually you need to understand. Okay, security instance and event management. Okay, so this is where this tool, right? Qualis, then we have Splunk. There are so many tools are there. This is just a defensive operation. It will collect a log, it correlates a log, and from there, okay, you will be able to see what kind of attacks is being happening in your organization. So then you
Right.
will alert the people, okay, accordingly. So this is from the defensive side. So not a SOC, it should be SIM.
Right.
Okay. Third one is we can talk about the forensic investigation. There are multiple things. Okay, forensic investigation. There are digital forensics, malware analysis, attack path analysis, attack surface evaluation, incident investigation. You can name it in different way. It is like I told you, na, like we have dosa, uttapam, idli, everything, but the atta is same. So the thing is, the core item is the same thing, but it is represented a different name because it is the magic words actually used by the consulting firm. They want to do a business, right? Okay, so they call everything in a different name so that they can sell the services to different people. So don't confuse with this one. No, if you understand the technology properly, then you will understand the terminologies also easily.
Right.
Okay, you will not get fooled by the terminologies. So the basic thing you should know what is vulnerability, what is exploitation, okay, what is security operations, then what is defense offensive operation. So people call with the name of VAPTs, then red teaming. Okay, so these are all different services under the offensive operation. Only thing is they have a small thin line difference. Okay, so which is not much. Okay, so you'll understand once actually get into the domain.
And as you mentioned, many students are not teaching the thing properly. So the same way we have the open source community and open source tool. So can we suggest all the community anyone can join to learn from that one and open source tool they can use?
See, there is a way of learning also instead of actually joining directly into the open source thing. Okay, so what I suggest is start actually like make your hands dirty on the starting from the desktop repairing.
Okay.
Okay, so nowadays, college students, the moment actually then they get in the third year or fourth year, so immediately they'll start doing the hacking. They will get in the site, they'll download the tool, they'll do the hacking. So nowadays, hacking is becoming a child's play.
Right.
Child's play. Okay, so you know the tool, you can Google it, you will get the tool downloaded, and you can go for hacking. But actually, that is not the right way of getting into this.
Right.
You should understand the hardware of your computer, because no one knows what is RAM. Okay. So they have not seen the RAM also nowadays, like because nowadays everyone is carrying a laptop. They have not seen the
Right.
RAM physically also. Okay, so hard disk. What are the type of hard disk we have? Okay, what is the displays? And even displays also can be hacked.
Right.
Okay, so there is something called darkly monitor. Okay, so you can look into the darkly monitor. There's a coming with the code also, how to hack a physical monitor. So similar to that, you need to understand the desktop first. Then actually start installing your operating system. When
Okay.
you don't know what is the operating system, how it is getting installed, what are the files it is having, like you don't know the architecture, what is the level of attack you are going to do that? Okay. So first start with the desktop repairing, then get into the application, operating system, then talk about the application which is being used in the operating system, then talk about the networking. Okay. When you talk about operating system, you will understand about the desktop and server also.
Right.
When you understand about the server operating system and desktop operating system, you will understand about the services. When you talk about the infrastructure, network and other infrastructure, you will talk about the protocols, devices, then how that is working, and this all these things you will understand. So once you understand all these things, then you get into this applications and databases, user application, web application,
Right.
thick line, mobile application, and the database behind it. Now, once you know all these things, the essentials,
Right.
then get into ethical hacking or anything like you would like to learn the cybersecurity. It will be much easier for you to understand. Then when you get into CH, then actually talk about the tools. So there are a lot of forums available, open forums where actually people are contributing, people are teaching also. So this way you will learn a lot of things. Okay, but before using the tool, you should know about the tool also, how that works. Now, most of the tool, if you say like it will go with a different name and interfaces, but actually
Hmm.
the behind, okay, the mechanism will always be the same thing.
Right.
So for that purpose, you can actually go for always try with open source tool, because getting a commercial tool at a personal level, it is actually
Mm.
will be a costly one. So instead,
Right.
you can go for that. For learning this kind of thing, okay, so there are a lot of good forums where you can download the like VMs where actually you can practice the attacks. Like for example, try hack me. There are a lot of rooms. Okay, you can learn from the basics to advanced level. There are free rooms available for this. The other one is the hack the box. Okay, so hack the box also will give a lot of leverage for learning. Okay, so hack the box also they have two different subscriptions. Okay, on the free subscription where they're given some missions where you can practice all your things, and then you have this attacks also. They are giving certifications as well. Hack the box also giving certifications. Then you have another one that is completely open source, Hub,
Hmm.
VULNHUB. So here also you will find different set of missions, all kind of attack from basic to advanced. Only thing is, all these forums they will teach you the basics. Please understand, no one can teach you 100%.
Right.
Okay, so they can teach you only 10%. Rest of the
Hmm.
90% is up to you how you learn it, because you there are a lot of resources available on the internet. Okay, you can connect with your industry people, you have to like connect with your team members, you can write your own code. There are tools which can be used for practices. There are previous lessons actually available
Right.
on the net. So you have to like go through all the notes, tools, and everything to get actually yourself used to this domain.
Right.
Okay, so I told you about the three things, like, but there are so many other things. So
Sure. Sure.
this actually helps you for the freshers to start actually their career or the roadmap in their cybersecurity domain.
Right. And we are seeing that now the things are moving from physical to the cloud. Okay. So we want to discuss about the application security, database security, and cloud security. So how that can be managed?
See, there are different things. Okay, so application security that requires a lot of knowledge about application also. One is the
Hmm.
technology specific, the second one is generic one.
Right.
Right now, when you talk about generic one, so that actually applies for all the application irrespective of what are the technologies. Okay, so it can be for web application, mobile application, or thick client, or IoT application, OT application. You talk about anything that applies to all these applications, for how this has been accessed and how this has been how this is working. Now
Right.
this is the flow about application security. So for that there are global standards like SANS. They actually have the top 10, okay, which actually refers to CWE. Then actually we have the OS top 10.
Right.
Okay, then OS application security verification standard, OSTTM. So if you ask me, okay, there are a lot of global standard which talks about the application security itself. Okay,
Right.
to gain to knowledge in that application security, you should know about the terminologies. Second thing, how actually this is being used. At least the basic information. What is cross scripting? What is SQL injection? What is CSF attack? What is XSCs? Okay, so you should understand this one. So for that, you need to refer the OS top 10. That would
Right.
be the Bible for everyone. Now, this is from the dynamic application security testing perspective. There's another one, the SAST,
Right.
static one. So this is about the source code reviews. For that, you need to know about the technology specific things, how the technology works, what is the code, how the code is designed, the application is designed. You should know about the application designing level, and you should know about threat modeling. Okay, then you should be knowing about SDLC process, is secure SDLC process, stride, dread, all this stuff actually come into that part. Now, this is one side of it. Then actually the dependency is on the backend, that is in the databases. Now we have MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL. Okay, there are so many databases. Now these are three common databases we normally use. You should understand about the DB architecture first, how the statements work, DML, DCL, DDL. You should know everything about the databases. Then
Right.
how it is working closely with the application. How actually a problem, a misconfiguration in the database can leak the entire database.
Right.
How a small bug in the application can expose the database completely. So you should be knowing about the architecture, how the application works, how the database communication works, all these things. If you know, you will become a master in the application security side of it.
Right.
Okay, this is on the traditional side of. Now let's move on to the cloud security. Now you know everyone is using Azure, okay, so AWS, GCP, Ali Cloud. Okay, so there are so many things still floating around.
Right.
Now the thing is, everyone is moving also. The infrastructure is very easy to manage. So this is being actually managed with the OEM as well. So that is good. Okay. So, but the thing is, from my perspective, it's my perspective. Okay. So I'm saying that. cloud security is still okay. No one actually understands the cloud security completely. Okay, it's still a myth, okay, for many people. Okay, so people say that okay, whatever they know, whatever in front of that, whatever functionalities there, the common ones, okay, people are able to manage it. But
Right.
if you ask me, okay, so what kind of security, whether it is 100% secure, I would say no. To some extent, yes, okay, because of this being managed by the OEM, some part is managed by the client itself, or maybe it's completely managed by the client. Okay, depending on what actually you are using, what kind of cloud you are working on it.
Right.
The thing is, there is always some leakage of information, misconfiguration issues.
Mhm.
Okay, there are a lot of vulnerabilities in the cloud itself. So,
Right.
going into cloud is also very good suggestion I would do. But the thing is, learn it completely. I won't say like you will not be able to learn 100%, but to some extent, okay, so master it, right? Yeah.
We discuss about the different architecture and security over there. Now let's talk about the different types of attack, right? So we have seen the types of attacks are changing now. Okay, so in the future we can see the types of attacks are changing now.
So, from the technical perspective, non-technical actually, the phishing can be delivered in the technical way and the non-technical way also.
Right, right,
You know about the phishing attacks, where actually people talk over the phone, they'll try to get the OTPs, they get the information. That is completely non-technical. It requires of people hacking skills,
right.
okay, social engineering skills. So that is one thing. And from the technical perspective, if you see like the earlier days in this, I'm talking about 90s. So
Okay.
there was only a crackers. Password cracking is the biggest hack, actually, people call it. Hackers actually are nothing there. Now, slowly, if you see, like after 90s, to when the 2000 started, early 2000, now actually crackers become one part of hackers. The hacking become
Right.
actually like they started taking over the entire thing. So now people started with the password cracking, then they started logging into the application, they started actually hacking into the databases, slowly like everything going on. Now actually we are talking about connected devices. Okay, so we know about hacking into web application, cloud application, mobile application. So a lot of things we are doing it. Now we are talking about connected. Because we are so much connected everywhere, right? Your
Right.
smartwatch, you're connected to a smartwatch. Your mobile is connected. Your headphones, Bluetooth connectivity. Your mobile is connected to any network through Wi-Fi. Your car
Right.
is connected. Okay, nowadays you can see like people are connected. We are having smart bulbs, smart
Right.
fridges, smart
Mhm.
ovens, geyser also they have. Okay,
Right.
so everything is nowadays connected now. Smart homes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
you talk to Alexa, Alexa will operate it for you.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is the level of the technology and the attack surface of evolution. Now, if I want to hack into your house, okay, I don't have to come in. I can sit in the next building. I can
Right.
just point out a laser. You know, using the laser, we can supply a voice command to the devices just by pointing the lasers.
Mhm.
Okay, your Alexa or your Siri or OK Google, everything will respond to me. Okay, just by standing in the next building, I have to point out the laser. The laser actually can send the voice commands, and through the voice command, I can take control of your house completely. Right
Right.
now, this is one thing. Second, I'm talking about the deepfakes.
Mhm.
Recently, I was in the RBI, Reserve Bank of India, and that was actually the RBI 90th year celebration. So I
Right.
was like invited as a chief guest there.
Mhm.
So I was demonstrating video KYC bypass, how to bypass a video KYC.
Right.
So I was standing there in the camera, in the front of the camera, but I took a photograph for one of the participant. I
Mhm.
pasted his photo on my face. That
Mhm.
means it looks like that guy is attending the meeting,
Right.
and it was live streaming. Now RBI was shocked. They said, "Okay, can you wave your hand? Can you blink your eyes? Can you speak something which they say?" Because this is part of the video KYC testing. Okay, so now we are able to find out. We are able to bypass the video KYC as if someone is attending, because I can get the other card of the person from the net. Okay, so they asked me to show the ID card. I can show the ID card also.
Mhm.
So likewise, I was able to open a bank account,
Right.
which I can use it for fraudulent transaction.
Mhm.
Right? So with AI, there are a lot of things are changing with the deepfakes. That is one thing
Mhm.
actually which is taking over. Second
Right.
thing, we have actually technology which you don't have to do anything, because the connected devices is
Mhm.
actually creating an avenue for all the hackers. Okay, for the next level attacks. Now with
Right.
AI ML, we are going to talk about NLTs, next level threats.
Mhm.
It is a combination of AI plus robotics plus ML plus then quantum cryptography, everything together. Now this complete attack is going to change. We'll be dealing only with the next level threats.
Right. Right. So
Okay.
again,
Yeah.
the voice cloning is also in one category, right?
So that is part of this deepfake only. So
Right.
deepfake, it can be only a video cloning or the photo cloning or audio cloning or live
Mhm.
streaming. There are so many things. Okay. So I'm just in
Right.
general, I spoke about only the deepfakes.
Right.
Voice cloning is one thing. Okay, so now People call that and say, I'm in a different place. I will not be able to call you back. Please, can you send the money because I need to pay for this
Hmm.
immigration. I needed
Right.
money for this. They'll take the money. Actually, they'll give the account also. People will fall for it because, okay,
Right.
one of our relatives is stuck over there in the airport. We
Hmm.
need to help them out. Finally, if you call them directly, then they will not get connected also. Then finally, you'll come to know you got cheated.
Right.
Digital arrest, another one. Okay, digital arrest is a non-technical thing.
Hmm.
It is about the scare
Right.
tactics. It can be technical, it can be non-technical. So, but mostly if you talk about digital arrest, it is non-technical. You have to do only the document forging,
Hmm.
okay, and spoofing yourself as a police guys and ED guys. Then actually you will talk about, you'll scare the guy out to transfer the money to your account.
So we discussed about the impact of AI on cybersecurity threat side. Now, is this AI is helping also to resolve the issues?
Yes, in some way I would say like it is helping to resolve the issues, but it is reducing the knowledge level also.
Hmm.
Okay, so earlier days when you do a math calculation, you will do from the mind, right?
Hmm.
Automatically. Like if someone asks you like what is this number actually added to this number, you will immediately say that.
Right.
Nowadays, if you see the new generation, they are using calculator for everything.
Right.
In our days, okay, we are not allowed to carry a calculator for the exam. Nowadays, it
Right.
is actually becoming a default one. You can carry a calculator, smartwatch, everything. You can do all the practice this.
Right.
Now, this is one thing. Now, actually, with the AI, what happened is everyone is allowed to use ChatGPT also.
Right.
Now, if you want to see a small grammatical mistake, also people are looking into ChatGPT.
Hmm.
If you want to understand some commands, they're looking into ChatGPT now. So what is this actually like ChatGPT doing? It is reducing your knowledge level. You will not be able to think by yourself. For everything, you will keep actually yourself dependent on the ChatGPT.
Right.
Any GPTs. I'm not saying only ChatGPT. Any GPTs I'm saying. So we
Right.
have Gemini. We have actually like a lot of things actually coming up now. Okay, DeepSeek and all this stuff. Okay, people actually like the moment you ask something, they're not thinking. They're immediately okay looking into ChatGPT to get a whatever actually the question you asked, okay, they're trying to get answers for it.
Right.
This is slowly reducing the knowledge level.
Hmm.
Okay, so normally in my seminars, I used to say, okay, earlier days for everything, people used to write coding.
Right.
Nowadays, it is only the tools.
Right.
You go to GitHub or you go to Google, okay, I want a Facebook hacking tool, you will get the tool downloaded, you will get to use it. Now,
Hmm.
which means, okay, the knowledge of the programming is completely gone. Now,
Right.
even today, when you say talking about a ethical hacking program, you talk about any
Hmm.
cybersecurity training program. So, do
Hmm.
I know to need to know about programming or what?
Right.
If you say no, you don't need to like know programming, people will be very so happy to do that. They don't want to take it as a pain actually. They're thinking everything is a pain.
Right.
Okay, so they're not understanding it is actually like it is going to change their level of knowledge. I
Hmm.
would normally say like with ethical hacking plus programming plus forensic, it's a deadly combination.
Right.
Anyone who knows all these three, okay, they'll be able to rule to do good extent.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is what I would say. Okay, so don't go with the certifications and all. Okay, so learn what actually is needed.
Right.
Nowadays, with the AI ML, things are changing, and Chat GPT is okay. You can take it as a reference, but don't completely depend on.
And
Okay,
we
that
see
is
the
yeah.
huge scope of cyber GPT kind of thing, where the specialized GPT for cyber security help out.
Yes, we have. Okay, say for example, for threat modeling, there is something called Stride GPT.
Hmm.
Okay, so for threat modeling, like you have to give the architecture, it will give you all the use cases for you. So that is good one. So maybe now you design something, you did a threat model, but you think, okay, there may be something I would have missed out. Okay, then you can use a GPT for that. Whatever the points you missed out, the gaps you find it. Okay, so you want to fill the gaps, you use the GPT for it.
Right.
Okay, likewise, okay, for example, you want to write some malware. Okay, or you want to write a anti-malware code for it. Then go for warm GPT.
Hmm.
Warm GPT will create a worm,
Right.
read the code, understand it, then actually write a reverse code for that. That's a fraud GPT. Fraud GPT is there. Fraud GPT, like if you want to know, you are in the part of forensic team, you want to understand how this fraud is happening. You can actually always refer to. See, the weapon is not changing here. How you are
Right.
using it changing. A
Right.
policeman also carries a pistol. The thief also carries a pistol. The thing is, now if thief has already started carrying a pistol, you need to understand how he's operating the pistol.
Hmm.
Okay. For that sake, you can use these GPTs. That's good for thing.
And
Okay.
when you are also hiring multiple candidates for multiple roles, right? So what is your criteria for selecting the candidate?
My criteria is only attitude, passion about working. Normally, what I do, see, I always believe in few things. One is, if the person is passionate about working, I can actually develop his skills.
Right.
It won't take much time. But if the guy is very professional, technically good, but he doesn't have the attitude or passion about working, There's
Right.
no point actually being in the team also. He will spoil the team, right?
Right.
And he is actually an individual, he is very good in as an individual contributor, but
Right.
his thought only will be towards the money making thing. Okay.
Right.
So normally what I do, I actually get, instead of hiring them directly, I'll take them as an intern. 3 months they will work with me.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean okay, they'll work the 3 months completely. If I find the guy is good within a month or within 2 weeks or 3 weeks time, I'll find out okay, he's very passionate about this. This guy is ready to work anything. Okay, so he is okay to learn. He's open to learn. Then actually he doesn't have to serve with me for 3 months. Immediately I'll convert him as a permanent employee. Okay, so that is the trick actually I'm doing. Then the references. So I used to like inquire about the people who is with coming with the experience. I'll talk to them. I'll understand their actually requirements and all. Then what is their expectation? What are they're passionate about the work, or they're just doing only for the designation sake or for the salary sake and all this stuff. So depending on their attitude, okay, how they work with the team. I don't want individual contributors.
Right.
This is a completely teamwork. So for the experienced people, definitely I look for the team fitment. And for the freshers, I look for their passion about this job. I don't say it's a job, okay, passion about the domain. And the second thing is the attitude.
Mhm.
So willing to work, willing to learn, and
Right.
willing to support the team. So these
Right.
are the main criteria I have, not the technical thing or certification. I can
Right.
actually, most of my team members, they joined me as a intern, and 3 years they become a manager also
Great.
down the line. So that was with all the big four wherever I worked. So they joined initially as 3 months. They joined as an intern and they worked for 3 and 4 months also sometime. Then the moment I got the opportunity to hire them, I hired them and they were like within 3 years they become a managers also. There are a lot of proof I have.
And this is something inherited from the Navy culture kind of thing, because
Yes, in Navy we actually always have only one thing. Not only Navy, the entire defense forces. No
right.
one should be left behind. Okay, we don't leave our team members behind.
Right.
There are cases where actually one of my team member had some personal issues and he exhausted all the leave. Like it's a medical issue, like it family. So we send him out with just informing our partner. We send him out for 4 months. He was taking care of parent. Okay, he was getting the salary also. But what we did is we distributed the load among ourselves. We were working for him because he's a team member. We can't leave him behind, right? So later, after 4 months, he came back. Then actually he started resuming. So he resumed his work, and then actually like we were good. Okay, and normally what happens in most of the companies, these people work individually. Okay, they've been given actually a task. Okay, you finish it within 2 weeks time and all. In my team, we used to sit after 10 o'clock together. Till 3 o'clock, we used to like that we'll talk all the bullshits. We'll actually make fun of each other. Then we'll actually complete the work also. Normally, like the work which takes 40 hours, we'll complete in 10 hours time. And anyone has some problems, right? They will actually throw the question in the forum and everyone will answer it. Ah, okay, you try this method. Do you try this method? Okay, let us try this one. That is where that interaction happens. So that
Right.
creates a bond between the team members also.
Right.
So this is how I do. But definitely, I would say, okay, this culture has come from the Navy background. Okay, not from the corporate one. So
Right.
corporate,
Right.
actually, the one biggest thing I've seen is like people don't teach everyone. There are very few people who teach without any obligations. Not everyone will teach everyone. Okay, this is the one drawback I've seen. But in the defense, it's not like that. In defense, you'll say like everyone handle the others, then
Right.
especially the team members.
My next question again to same thing, because defense forces are the most complex work life balance kind of thing, right? But still they are happy and they are serving. But the people working in the corporate are not happy and complaining about work life balance. So where do you see the problem is attitude of the employee side, or the how employers are managing their workforces?
So there are two things here. Now, when I started working on the corporate, the first thing I was told is no one is married to the job. You might have heard this term, right?
Right.
So I was really surprised. Okay, actually, someone is saying no one is married to a job. But in the defense, it is different. Okay,
Right.
everyone is considered their family. So we stay with people more than the team with people, more than the family members. Okay, so that is a close group. Whether it is something, okay, life or death, whatever it is, okay, we all stick together. Okay, here actually in the corporate, it is a completely different thing. Okay, so it is like, okay, so you are a professional friend, that's it. If I don't want to have any benefit from you, okay, so you are no more a friend for me. This is what I've seen in this one. But the thing is, dedication is one thing which has been inculcated. It's a culture which is created in the defense. You'll dedicate yourself, the complete whole of yourself, the soul and mind, everything actually will be dedicated for the service. But in the corporate, it's a different thing. Corporate, okay, so you're not married to a company. Company doesn't bother. If they don't want you, they'll take you out. Okay, so there is no key role also.
Right.
If some company says, okay, he's doing very good, but definitely like I have some issues with him. Okay, I don't want him. Then definitely company will throw him out also. So that kind of disconnect is there in the corporate. So this is definitely like it's a complete opposite side of. That's why two sides of a coin. Okay, so military is a different culture altogether,
Hmm.
and there are some characteristic method they use. But once actually that kind of dedication is inbuilt in the people, right? Okay, so there's nothing actually you need more training or no actually like separate culture. But the corporate is different. Every company has a different culture, different rules, regulations, the teams, attitude, expectation, everything is different in corporate.
Right. Right. Because I try to deeply understand the culture of multiple organization, and that's why I think all the corporate needs to be learned from the armed forces that how to build a strong culture, because people are ready to throw their life also for having the right culture in any of the group, right? And how the armed forces support each other, where the corporate works completely differently. So if corporate can learn something about from the armed forces how to build the right culture, then many things can be improved a lot over there.
Yeah, true, but actually it is not that easy. Okay, because people are trained for years in the defense forces to have this kind of culture and all this attitude and all. But in the corporate, like people come from directly from the college, they don't actually get this kind of exposure also. Working with the team, okay, and like giving up, sacrificing many things actually for the team also. Those kind of thing actually the corporate is not built for.
Right.
It's not the right place for to do that kind of thing also. So you finish your job, that is done. Here actually in the defense force it is different. Okay, so you sacrifice their life, people will be do that. Will do that. But in the corporate, if you ask, okay, can you just do one thing, sacrifice 2 months of a salary, they will not do that also.
Right.
Okay, my company is going for a loss. If you sacrifice 2 months of a salary, then after 3 months, okay, then I definitely give you a salary hike also. People will not do for go stick for that until unless their partners or their seniors are very good, they're helping them out, then definitely they will do it. Otherwise, they will no one will do that. Immediately they'll jump to another company.
So both side of the issue, employer side also and employer side also. The
Yes,
whole
both
culture
aside.
needs to be
Yes.
right. Okay, great. So, what's your final advice to all the people who want to start their career in cybersecurity?
Okay, so there is a shift in the people, actual generations now. Earlier days, people actually go for, okay, I need a salary. I want to take care of my family. That's it. Now, slowly that moved to comfort level. I want to actually go for a little luxury life. Okay. Then actually people started not only taking care of the family, they actually started getting more salary for actually taking care of the family. So comfort level, I want a car, I want a bike and all this thing. Okay. House, all this stuff they started taking. Now with the company computer systems coming in, okay, so there's a lot of salary hikes they started. Now people started, okay, I want more luxury life. They started going for, okay, I want to work only on site. I don't work in India. So I want a visa, like working in US or UK and a long term thing. Then I want a PR. So those kind of things started now. Now that got shifted today. People actually doing a research on the managers. If the manager is not good, then definitely your life will be a struggle, right? Now this generation is talking about the salary hike irrespective of what other talent they have, the years of experience. They know that moment I call from the college, they say, sir, I need at least 20 lakhs as a minimum package. So what do you know? I don't know anything, sir. I'm a fresher. Why actually then asking 20 lakhs? Okay, what makes you think about it? No, sir, this is a market rate. My college placement officer said, okay, so you should ask for anything, you should ask for more than 20 lakhs. And that is what I am expecting. My last year, my one of my senior actually got 27 lakhs package per year. He never know, like he don't know like, what actually has done, what kind of job he got it, why he got it. He never know.
Right.
What is making him worthy for 20 lakh? He doesn't know about it. He just say, okay, 20 lakhs I made it. Okay. Now people actually moving for the luxuries, comfort, and now they're talking about the managers also. I know actually people. Then they said, sir, I researched about you. One of the guys spoke to me on my face. I researched about you. You came from military background and you are very strict, brutal in the professional way. Okay, yeah, okay. But actually, personally, when I spoke to your team members, they said you are very good. But in the professional one, you are very brutal. I'm just thinking about it. Give me some time. I'll think about it and I'll come back. This is the
Okay.
statement I hear from them. Nowadays, actually, kids are going to that level where they do research about the managers. They say, okay, you are not good, so I will not join you. Okay. So that kind of actually things are happening nowadays. Now, the thing is for the freshers, okay, so do research, okay, but not from the salary side of it. Understand the domain, learn what is required for you, and be passionate about what you're doing. The managers are one actually parameter. Okay, a good manager leverage your career. It will take your career to the next level. That is
Right.
good. Okay, nowadays actually people are doing that. That is very good. But it doesn't mean that okay, only manager is the only bottleneck for us. There are a lot of other things also. If you don't actually upskill yourself, you will be stagnant in your career. Second thing is certification. Keep learning. Learning is a continuous process. You have to keep learning again and again till the time you get satisfied, and it won't actually, it won't stop also. You keep learning all this thing, and more than learning, start actually teaching others as well
Right.
the knowledge you carry. So that will encourage and that will also increase your knowledge level. The knowledge transfer just increase the knowledge level, it will not drain your knowledge. Okay. So start learning, it's a continuous process. Transfer do a knowledge transfer to your fellow mates. So it will also like give some good respect on your whatever you're doing it, and also it increase your knowledge level. Third thing is managers. Okay. You don't have to do this maskabaji and all. Okay. So you don't have to do that. Do your work personally, and your career is automatically will be visible to everyone,
Right.
and the managers will not be able to stop you also when actually your visibility is good. I had the challenges. There's a lot of regional biases I have faced. Then I actually faced some internal politics also. Okay, but the thing is I kept working. I didn't bother about all this thing. I kept working,
Right.
and that created a lot of visibility. Even if I was like completely like stopped from other activities, so visibilities that actually like the work I have done for the client, for the regions, for the sectors. So that created a lot of visibility about me. That helped me to understand more also.
Right. So
Right?
as
More.
Abdul Kalam says, right, love your work, don't love your company. Focus on your work, and the other thing will be sorted, right?
Exactly, exactly. So keep loving your work. Don't bother about the company or the manager sitting above you. Don't bother about that. That's not going to help you out. Keep doing your work. Definitely, whatever the benefits, right, it will come to you.
Right.
Don't keep any expectation. If you keep expectation, then you will fail. It will create a lot of emotional imbalance. Okay, so keep doing your work and with passion. That's the most important point here. The passion to
Right.
work.
Great. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Velu sir, for your time and sharing all the
Thank you. Thank you.
valuable insight and experience. Thank you so much. And many people will learn a lot from this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dushan. Thank you so much for inviting me also. And good luck to everyone who are hearing this video. Okay, please, if there's anything, let us know. How we can support you. We definitely will be able to do that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.